Caleb Nelson, Jason Ackerman. Who would have thought? Look at us.
Not in a million years.
Truly. So I don't even know where I want to begin. Let's begin with
The beginning.
I don't remember the last, we were saying, like, you know, we've spoken quite a bit in the last 5 years, but in person it's been
12.
12. It's been, like, you did math.
We haven't talked since our fallout in person.
Yeah, when was it? That's what I was saying. I feel like it was at Albany CrossFit.
Yeah, I still remember the last. No, well, technically it was when we signed the paperwork to be done.
So that's okay.
Ian remembers that little business
yeah, because
and then we went to the bank.
I remember, like, Ian Hogan, that is, like, mediating almost.
More or
we were
less.
talking. How far have we come as human beings? Isn't it crazy?
It's a little surprising, isn't it?
Well, we just saw Sasha, and we're in Sasha Mirkovich's office. It's very surreal. I was excited to come back to Albany because it's like, like, to see everyone's growth. It's cool to see, like, because let's go to the beginning. You came to Albany CrossFit. I owned it.
Mm-hmm.
Was 9 or 10?
2009.
Fresh out of Cortland.
Fresh out of Cortland.
You had come to, you've told this story before. You came to, I want to say, the regionals, and I, like, blew you off or something?
You didn't blow me off. You were busy running, well, I think it was called sectionals at the time. And, I mean, here's homeboy with long hair, a rainbow-colored teddy bear belt, and, like,
was I wearing my Grateful Dead
sandals.
belt?
Yeah. I'm looking at this like, this guy runs this place.
I wish I still had that belt.
And then you didn't blow me off. You're just like, hey, man, like, yeah, we'll keep talking. You saw my email or something like that because I had to intern to finish my degree.
That's what it was.
And my then girlfriend was going to Albany after me trying to get her into CrossFit for a long time. She started with her father.
I forgot about Sarah.
And,
what was her dad's name?
Arnold.
Yeah, but what did we call him? Big Buff Daddy?
Buff Daddy, yeah. Man, I haven't thought of that in a while. And I showed up kind of like to nudge it along, like, is this guy brushing me off? And because I needed to get my
No,
internship
I'll take free work all the time.
Of course you would. Oh, yeah. And, yeah, we ran into you, and, you know, you said, yeah, I'm going to get back to you. You got back to me, and then I started up.
I will say this, like, all seriously, like, that period of my life, like, call it 2009 to 12, 13.
Yeah.
Best period of my life. Like, I say that, like, knowing I've got a wife and kids now, and I shouldn't be saying that. But I mean, like, looking back, like, let me rephrase, like, some of the fondest memories of my entire life, like, was that period. Like, in general, I mean, and I had a blast in college. And I think it was a little bit of the juxtaposition of, I graduated college and was kind of, like, lost for, like, 7 years by myself, right? Like, just grinding. And then all of a sudden you find CrossFit, and, like, you see a little bit of a light. Like, I'm doing everything by myself still, but at least it was a little more fun. Then you came along, and it was like
hockey stick.
It was just like, yeah. I mean, it was like I wake up every day and get to go hang with my best friend, and we do work, like, but fun stuff. And then over time, like, the team, like, and let me also be very clear, it was terrible at the same time because it was like, I had Jess on, remember Jess Lasky, and she was like, you guys were a bunch of assholes. And I was like, oh, yeah, we definitely were. Like, going back to the leadership, because, like, I was not interested in growth. I was like, right? Like, right now, let's have a good time. And luckily, I send you every so often, like, a picture. Like, I'm like, oh, lucky this was, like, we would have been canceled.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but again, it was just such a good time. And so going back, you came in, you then interned, came on full time. We, did you have fun? Was that fun for you?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think the ride was ever going to end.
That's what I see. Like, the only analogy I make is, like, I would see some, like, documentaries on, like, musicians and, like, their band. And I'm like, that's what it kind of feels like. We're a band that we're just, like, we went from, like, we're playing free shows to, like, stadiums.
It was literally hockey stick. That's exactly what it was.
Just less drugs. We weren't taking enough drugs.
But I mean, we're riding the curtails of, like, CrossFit going mainstream with Reebok coming on. Like, it was all the right things at the right time, and, you know, I mean, I've spent a lot of time thinking about this, probably more than I should.
No, no, I feel like I do as well. Like reflect. By the way,
But-
what are you taking? You look like the same age.
Just
How old are you now?
38.
That's crazy. Like you were like 22, fresh out of college. You look the
22,
same.
21. Thanks.
You-
Appreciate that.
Yeah, you look great. So anyway, right? Yeah.
It's all this health and lifestyle stuff.
Imagine
And
that.
Imagine that. It
Imagine
kind
it
of works
works out.
out 20 years later. Kind of pays off, right?
I know. Like I'm 47, and like when for example, I'll be in like I do jiu-jitsu still, and like a young kid will be like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, 30 years, bro. Like you're not gonna do this. Like we're at that age now where it's like passive investing.
Yeah, now it's more about like doing less better, right?
Yeah.
And I know you guys talk about that with Best Hour and Affiliate U and all that, but
So go on.
where was I going with it?
You were saying,
Well, yeah, we were riding the curtails of a lot of things. Obviously, you did a lot of grunt work of just doing things like you I don't know what compelled you to do these run these competitions. Like looking back, like those afterwards, I ran 1 or 2 competitions at my own gym, and I was like, this is miserable. Like I don't ever want to do this ever again. This is chaos. Like knowing my disposition, I probably was still a little burnt out and harboring other feelings too underneath all that. But like there was that. It was getting notoriety. Obviously, like I believed I had found it. We had a bunch of people, and we were all young who could just like we were short. Like, yeah, we had girlfriends, and then Dean had he got married, but we're all
remember Dean's
available.
wedding?
Yeah.
Do you remember? The only thing I remember is like, where's the food? We were like, I remember it was like the four.
I
of us-
remember I wasn't included on the gift, even though I had chipped into the gift, and he was like, "Oh, here's the thing." I'm like, "Bro, that's part of this thing too."
I remember we're like, and then Dean was like, we were drinking in the back. I was like, this is why we haven't eaten.
This is the problem. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, we had all those things. It was new. It was competitive. It was a thing. Like, and we all were ready to go. I mean,
Okay.
certainly, like you had like, it was like this amorphous blob, and then I came in and like I could sell. And like that probably
You
took
s-
a lot of pressure off of you to be like, oh, like this front end thing. The guy can pick up the phone. He knows how to talk to people, make them feel comfortable, create community. And then like I slowly, and I see it with what you guys knew. Like there's a format that started to slowly come into play. Like, oh, you're not trying to fly the plane and fix it at the same time. That you have somebody else who can kind of fly the plane and fix it at the same time as well. And just like you need to have like a dynamic within that. So
Yeah, I
it was
mean-
cool to have that all come together.
Well, and going back to what Sasha and I just spoke about, I think to a fault we were too similar, and
Yes.
and that's why like happens. And we had Kevin,
Right.
who was like we would butt heads with Kevin, but now thinking back on it, it's like, oh, this guy's trying to like button things up because you two are crazy.
Yeah.
Like we've joked about this before, but you and I literally sold the gym membership naked in a hot tub
Yeah.
to Bob Clasby.
Just brash.
Just
It's like,
we'd be like, you need to sign up for this.
yeah.
Like you need to do. Okay, so let's have a serious moment for a second.
Sure.
What is, and I'll also respond. What is one thing? Because you mentioned the competitions. So after we have a falling out, which I've reflected on. I'm sure you have. Is like it wasn't. I believe at the time over box jumps.
It wasn't over box jumps. I joke that it's the tie that broke the
The
camel's
tie.
back.
The tie. So I got in my head that we need to dress up for this party
Yeah.
for no reason.
You had just gotten a suit, and I know you wanted to wear your suit at a summer
And
barbecue.
Barbecue. I do think I was like, let's like look polished once. And for the record,
Sure.
like the entire team revolted.
Yeah.
But I was mostly mad at you. And you came in not wearing a tie, but if my memory serves, like you still looked good.
Yeah.
Like you didn't come in like
A
in a
schlub.
tank
No.
top.
Yeah.
And I was mad. But there was also an argument about box jumps.
That was part of.
It was all at the same time, but in reality, it was many, many things. It was, in true reflection, it was me being a shitty leader.
I mean, sure.
You could have disagreed, but no, I think no, that's what it was. It was like I was a shitty leader. Caleb's my friend when I want him to be my friend, but I'm his boss when I want to be the boss.
Right.
Obviously, at this point, we owned a gym together.
It was a muddy relationship.
Which was just
though.
super. Even the gym itself, it's like I own 80, you own 20, you're running it. we were never clear about many of the things. Like,
Yeah.
tons of mistakes.
Yeah.
But my question would be, you bring up the competition, and all these years later, what's one thing that you were mad at the time that you're like, oh, I didn't give Jay credit for, or, and then I haven't thought of this, so I'm thinking of it now. And I will do the same for you.
What was I mad at? Like,
Well, you mentioned
making
like
us
Jay's
do-
running these competitions, and I didn't realize.
No,
how
no, no.
hard they
It wasn't
were.
about the competition.
No, but you didn't realize all the work that went into them, and I think.
Oh, I did, because I did them. I think I was burnt out because like we did everything all the time and we didn't like sit to really think about it.
Yeah.
And you know, where I give you credit, you ever read the book The Big Leap?
Years and years ago, I don't.
Anybody who's listening, 100% go read it. If anything, I kind of base a lot of my life's work around this. You experienced what I didn't realize at the time was an upper limit problem. Like, oh my God, there's all this success. And you said it all the time. You're like, this is really my first go around running a business. And that was, it's hard to see that, like, oh, you're my mentor, you're my best friend, you're older than me. Like, there's a lot of external factors that, like, you couldn't control that. So, like, empathy going back now, I'm like, well, I never didn't get that. It was just hard when you're like, oh man, I feel like I'm burned. And that was the real thing more than anything. I respected it all. Like, that never, your work ethic, I never doubted. It wasn't really anything that like, oh, he's wrong about certain things. It was like, oh, he just didn't deliver this one part here at the end. Like, I wish you handled this better here at the end.
Which
with
part?
me, talking to me. Like,
Oh yeah.
that was it. But it's like,
Well, it was a terrible, like, hear what Sasha said. It was like your team will rise to the level of your leadership, good and bad.
yeah.
And I did not. Like, I was on the cusp of understanding I was a terrible leader. But you also, like you said, it was like,
had a lot.
here I was from nothing,
Yeah.
growing this massive thing. Accidentally, on purpose, luck, all those things mixed in. But I was like, who are you? Is anyone to tell me I'm not doing it right? Right? And luckily, like, Sasha, for lack of better, terms, saved my life, because I would have been like, that thing would have imploded.
Yeah.
Like, you were the first to go, but it was like everyone would have slowly gone.
Well, I really wasn't the first. And that was,
Who else had gone at that point?
well, there was, Kevin had gone before. Like, there,
Kevin leave at that point?
like, looking back, it was so obvious I was the next on the list.
to leave?
For there to be something. Because, and again, this is like upper limit stuff. When I call it burnout, I call it maybe a spiritual health crisis. Like, I don't know who the hell, I'm making more money, I have all this power, we'll call it that.
Well, you're running the gym.
You're running a lot of things, and you have like this adoration. You're put on a pedestal in some places where you're like, that's nice, but it also comes with other expectations. It's things that, it's like problems of success that people can't really wrap their head around. So like, that was a hard, I've been around people who are in leadership positions, and I tend to be the person who's more empathetic to what's going on. It's like, that's a lonely place, and you have no idea what's really going on. And the other side of it was, we spent such an obscene amount of time together.
Crazy, yeah.
I mean, to the point of like, that was something I really needed to learn. I was like, wow, I really need to learn how to set boundaries in my life. If there was a resentment maybe on some of that, but the reality was like, none of it was your fault, because looking back, you were almost like my excuse to avoid dealing with things I needed to deal with, whether it was my relationships, my health, my whatever the thing was. I didn't want to go face other things in my life, my own insecurities, even coming down to, I still remember, again, looking, hindsight 2020, it was obvious. I remember I was starting to feel a certain kind of way about Clifton Park, and we had a conversation. Our second location, the one that we owned together, and you're like, dude, you want me to just like buy you out and you can this, that, or something like that? I was like, nah. And that was my own expectations of myself of, well, I can't quit. But not also admitting like, something's not connecting for me too. Like, I'm also outgrowing this. I have different opinions. I have different things. Where do I fit in this? Am I always going to be under his thumb? Where is this going to go into? And it was all my own fault, because I was abdicating my own responsibility to like, well, he's my friend. He's just going to take, like, that's not, like, I needed to think for myself. So it's really hard to go back and be like, screw you, F you on like all these things. because I don't see it that way. Like the gift of experience was you also taught me what not to do in certain experiences. Like I got into my own situations. The empathy really started to settle in. Like we had a gym that opened up from underneath us, some coaches, and like emailed our clients and that kind of stuff.
From Clifton Park?
From
You had
Purebred,
changed the name to Purebred, right?
Yeah, and we had disaffiliated, all that stuff. And I'm like, oh, got it. Understand the feeling. We tried to like, I wanted to do a better job than we had done at Albany when somebody else decided to go their own path.
You didn't like.
No, we gave them
You
free
didn't kick
memberships
them
and
out
let them hang out,
immediately, yeah.
which that was also,
Yeah, that's an extreme, right?
I learned that one kind of takes a toll on you, but you know, it is what it is.
That's a good point, and people watching, like affiliate owners, like I think, because that was, especially once I sold Albany CrossFit and I left, like I had an opportunity to be like, oh, like you would see them, like the people that would like, that were always giving you stress. It's like, oh, now they're giving other people stress, or the people that always asked of, like, there were people at Albany, we won't name names, who were like, just stress us out, always wanting more, always like, I'm owed this and owed that. And it was like, when I left, it's like, oh, now they're doing that to somebody else. Like,
But that's business in general.
yeah, I just always, I felt like,
So the 80-20 rule, like the 80% of the problems come from 20%
well,
of people.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But just being able to step away from it, because like you're saying, like realizing, oh, you're in this really weird position as an affiliate owner, where you're adored, but you also have a ton of
Yeah.
expectations placed on you. But and then, like you said, your coaches don't realize that when it's like, and then they open. So like, I'm going to sit down with Chad Saturday,
Oh, great.
and you know, you were not there when he opened, but I also was like, I'm going to do a better job.
Yeah.
And like now I think he has 2 affiliates.
Yeah. I was a member.
But
of
like
them for a
he's,
bit, yeah.
Lexi goes there to Avitas.
A little bit, but I was there for about a year too, just after. everything.
But he's had coaches open from under him as well. So it's like you feel that.
You feel it, and like that's hard. Again, I was behind closed doors with you. I heard the real. Like here's what we're putting in the Facebook group and on public, and then I heard the conversation behind doors, and like half the time I felt like your therapist. So I was like,
You were.
Probably my biggest mistake was like I thought I was abdicated from like reality. And it's like, oh, well, we have this convoluted relationship. You were also, what, 30, 31? I look at where I was at 30, 31, and it's like, okay, you're young, we're dumb, like we're
With
figuring
no
out.
experience.
We're no experience. And now, you know, you're doing the best. I've come to a place in my life, like most things are done out of ignorance, not malice. And
Yeah,
that's
that's a good
made
expression.
a great like acceptance for me in all of the things. It's like you were there, you had a lot of pressure. If I was in the same position and I had all the same life experiences, would I have done the same thing? Probably. I've thought the same thing about healing process with my family. It's always the same thing. It's just hard when you're in it because you feel like the world is happening against you. But the reality is now with more time, I'm starting to see like I needed to go a different path too. But the real problem was I didn't take ownership of like, I should have sat down, made more space, and said, like, Jay, I want to go a different path. I don't know what that looks like. How do we go there in a way that doesn't destroy this relationship? Because I also didn't know that this relationship could be destroyed. So that's my own ignorance.
That's what Sasha just spoke about with conflict, right? He was like, we're not fighting each other, we're fighting this conflict
Right.
together.
Yeah.
So how do we get through this
Yeah.
together? And to be fair, I don't think I was in a place where that would have mattered. I'd have been like, get the hell out of here, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think for
Lesson for everybody: don't handle conflicts over a group text. Like that's
Yeah,
never
that
a
was-
good idea.
that was the beginning of it. I think for me it was also, it's like just ego, right? It was like, I've got to win this.
Sure.
And it's like that, because I remember it's like spiraling. And also, one of the things I tell people all the time, like, you just need more clarity. There was no clarity, like you said, in Clifton Park. You know, we had our second location, and a lot of affiliate owners don't understand this. It's like, cool, regardless of the split, you're running it, and then realizing, well, Albany CrossFit, the original location, is still funding, right? Like, it's like a lot of affiliate owners, like, I'm going to open a second spot, and I'll pay for Wadify, and I'll pay for this, and I'll pay for that. Well, it's like the first spot is just paying for a second spot. And at some point, that doesn't... Makes
it was
sense.
really blurry lines.
Yeah.
Like my money's in, your money's in, how, but like, and then we're sharing. It was really messy. And for the record, it taught me a great lesson to like read my partnership agreement because I didn't. It was
I don't
like,
think I did.
of course we did.
Yeah.
Ian sat me down and I was like, we're gonna go through this. God bless him. Like he sat me down, like, no, we're gonna make sure this happens. The sum of all that I actually remember of it is like, we have a 90-day moratorium period for us to like cool our heads a little bit and like figure this out. And then it dissolves this way. I was like, that works fine enough.
Yeah,
Like,
because we wound up handling it without like attorneys or anything, if I remember correctly.
yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, just like because it was all that was in the agreement somewhere. Like
Something like that.
If
I
it-
can't remember
yeah.
what it was. That's
So-
all a little hazy for me. I don't
yeah,
remember.
same. Like that entire 2-year stretch. It's just
Believe you me, I went down a really dark place. I moved in with some clients. I went broke. It was a
What-
special place.
yeah. You wound up living with.
The Clouds, yeah. Shout out to them.
Are they still around? Do you still talk to them?
I haven't talked to them in a while.
But you, yeah. I mean,
I've
I
seen
remember
Larry.
like I do remember being like, oh, I'm upset. Caleb is going because I was like on the verge of selling this gym, moving, and being like, I'm not happy, but I also don't know what to do.
Like with me, or
Yeah, like
Oh.
I was like, oh, I want to reach out, but I
I
don't.
would
But I'm not going
appreciate
to. But I'm incapable of or incapable of doing that. So
it
people-
taught me a lot about myself, though.
Like what?
What am I willing to go through for what I believe in?
So what did you believe that I didn't understand?
I believed ultimately when it all kind of when it's come down to it, like I believed you had lost sight of the vision of where this was all going. And
How so? Like what did you think it was originally, and what was I doing?
I think you fell out of love with it. And understandably, like I think it's a common growth problem. Like there's this weird middle ground, and that was part of it. I think you'd gotten so far from like the gym floor. It was all like businessy things for you and stuff where it wasn't natural and like just your charm couldn't take over and like wing it. It was deeper stuff. And obviously there's probably stuff you needed to confront with yourself of where you were at in your life. I know that turning 30 and that 28 to 32 stretch especially for men, but adults in general this is like a big pivot point. It's far enough away from college. Wait, I'm looking towards like the end of my life. There's not big milestones other than marriage and kids and that stuff, but like these are longer term things, and that's really hard. And what I was seeing was like the new conflicts that were happening with staff. Again, not thinking it was going to happen to me, which was my own naivete, and also not having the skill set to know how to approach you in a way that would actually be supportive. But that was starting to dwindle. Like you could see there was more resentment. You had lost the passion. That was my impression.
Yeah, no, I don't think I lost the passion for CrossFit per se, because I still love it. But
Yeah.
I think looking back on that period of time, it was like, I mean, we had 5 or 6 people leave to open gyms.
Yeah, that's a
right?
lot.
And it was like, and members were complaining, and members, like, one of my values to this day is loyalty, right? So imagine your value is loyalty, and people just keep leaving. It was like, and I coach people all the time on this now, where it's like, in part, you do have to have that separation. And it was like, I would do so much. I mean, how many dinners did we all go out to that I just paid for?
Yeah.
Everyone, like members, coaches, and no, so I remember just being like, and burned out on it. Like I'm working so hard,
Yeah.
and people just keep leaving. And I do remember thinking, well, as long as Caleb's here, like we'll handle this. And then you and I started to fight, and that was probably like where I was like,
That conflict though was, again, it had to do with our blurred lines. Is like, what is this relationship now? It was very obvious, mentor mentee kind of thing. Yeah, we're friends. Yeah, we hang out a lot. There's like, but the separation was clear. Now I'm owner of some amalgamation of this whole thing. Where does that fit in?
Right.
And then, well, how am I supposed to assert myself as an owner? What does that mean in this place? It's a weird no man's land. What authority do I have? And can you just like pull the rug out from underneath? We had a situation where we had to let somebody go. I still remember this. And it was like, well, I don't want to go down that one
No,
because
no.
it paints people in a not so great light, but like,
you know
You know what I'm talking about.
Now that you say, yeah.
and it was like in the room with that person, I have to listen to Caleb because he's also an owner. And then the rest of the group, it was like, well, no, you're this. And that was the moment I was like, oh, this is messy. But again, not tactful enough, not adult enough, not mature enough to be like, how do I just sit down with my friend, because ultimately we care about this thing, and just sort this out before like. And
That's what it would have taken. We just sit
yeah,
down.
of course. Like now I'm like, duh, idiot. Like
Yeah, both of us.
he's going through a thing right now. I don't know what it is, but he should just, like, how about I just ask him how he's going through this as a human being? We probably would have solved the problem. Again, like hindsight 2020, but it also opened the door to like, wow, it's not just an affiliate problem. This is like a business problem. This is a life problem. And I don't think again, as you said, like, what did I learn about that 1 year? Am I willing to just humble myself to this extent and to go through? I met Ian during this time. I met Lexi during this time. Like, I would not have also witnessed.
We met Lexi
during that
at the gym. She became a member. Right? I remember this like young 22-year-old.
Dude, she
her
drove.
And, Audra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still remember her. Like, credit to my wife. She's the toughest.
Shout out to
person.
Lexi, world's youngest principal.
She's incredible. I'm highly biased, but also objectively, like, she's incredible.
31-year-old principal. What school?
Lansingburg, Rensselaer Park Elementary.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
We were saying
tough school too.
We were saying like principals were like 50.
Bro, I
like
know.
gray hair, short gray hair lady,
thick glasses, all the thing.
Meanwhile, you got Lexi, 31-year-old, looking great.
And here I like, you know, for the record, I was coming off of steroids. I was growing out my hair. I looked disheveled. I'm going broke. I'm living with clients. Like all the things of like the trimmings of what
red flag.
A mid to late 20s young man. You'd think that like he's got it going for him. Like all those things are falling apart by the wayside. And the beauty of it was like she loved me for me, and to this day, I'm grateful for that experience because it was the first time like I let everything go. I remember I had dating a girl before that, and I looked in the mirror at one day, and it sounds so like, I don't know, vain, but I just looked at myself, I was like, what if I just let this all go? Because I thought like all I was putting out was like, I look a certain way, I'm this, but it was me just trying to project and to cover up all my insecurities. I was never really real and honest. And you know, to that effect, you didn't get the best version of me because I wasn't really willing to open these parts of myself.
Well, it was like 2 years, like you were.
Sure, but the point is, like that experience, I didn't even have a choice anymore. Like I had to learn how to ask for help. I was just like this, dude. I got paranoid. I thought you bugged the gym. Like, I shit you not. I thought
I did.
I thought that happened. I'm like. I wasn't sleep. It was just a weird time in my life, but it was also one of the most pure, beautiful times of my life too, because it was just like, I just need to show up and just be here for these people, and this is all I have to give, and it's just me, whatever it is. So
there's that like starting with nothing kind of, like it's like a rebirth.
Yeah.
As you're saying that, I'm like, oh, coincidentally enough, or like, here you are, you let everything go, and then you actually have it. Like now you're 10 years older. Still look good, right?
I mean,
it's
I try.
It's for different reasons, but yeah, and I think to our fault, like I mean, you were the young, like, sexy one, if you will. Like you would, I mean, you would take your shirt off at 5 o'clock on a Tuesday class, and you weren't working out; you were coaching, for the record.
Yeah, I'm aware.
But I would encourage it. It was like that was I mean, we were an Animal House fraternity.
Yeah, it was brash.
Like Jess said, and I felt terrible when it's like, oh, we're a bunch of dudes. Like, you know, it's like, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And it's also, we weren't mature enough to realize, like, it's working, but one, should it be working? You know, because it was like, everyone seemed okay with it. And then, but it's like, that doesn't make it right.
I think what showed me that things needed to change was also going up to Clifton Park. It's a bedroom community. These are families. Like the things that they care about were so different.
Yeah.
You know, from everything like score on the whiteboard and all that stuff, it was like, oh, these things don't matter. What are we doing here? Like this is like, and that might be contested by a lot of people
that
watch this, but like, I remember I pulled scores away from things. I took kipping pullouts. I took Olympic lifting.
Box jumps.
I took box jumps.
And by the way, I don't remember what side I was on.
Not mine.
Well, in retrospect, I was completely. The argument was you didn't want people to do rebounding box jumps.
Yeah.
I don't remember if this was before or after Julie Fouché like blew her Achilles. But it's like, oh yeah, Now, I never would allow that, like, for years. But I think, to some degree, you're ahead of the times. Because, and I think because I was in a bubble of, Albany CrossFit, granted, we're not like in a college town, but it happened to be a younger demographic. And even the older, the Donnas, if you will, it was like so youthful that they kind of got pulled into it. Right? But you're out there in like suburbia, Clifton Park, north, and then you're coming down to Albany and be like, we should do it this way. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? We should do this. Like, why would we not allow rebounding box jumps? We got a competition to go win.
Right.
And you're like, so again, a conversation of like, hey, let's think about longevity. Let's think about.
Yeah, that just wasn't our priority.
Because now you're all the things you're doing now, it's like, are the things much of which we coach. Like, hey, like, let's just make it the best hour of their day.
I mean, also, I was fortunate that I went to school for kinesiology. I've been around
you weren't a dummy.
My grandfather literally did kinesitherapy, essentially physical therapy, for 50, 60 years. I'm going to go see him in a week, and in France. And
oh, yeah, you going back to France?
First time
since, three of you?
It's the first time since Naked Sunday started, yeah.
Oh, wow. That was because that was when you went?
After my honeymoon. That was my honeymoon, essentially. Yeah. I've been around like longevity stuff, and then like Ian and I, that was the other part of Ian. Like Ian and I would just geek out about rehabilitative stuff and all this other stuff. Like I'm just nerding out on like this is how you're going to destroy your body, and like that kind of stuff. And
you're right.
Thank you. Don't get me wrong. I love to be told I'm right, but I don't need my ego stroked.
But that was like a very. Objectively, like Caleb was there. Yeah, I remember you and Ian would show up at like 5 a.m. and like be massaging each other.
Yeah.
I think there's probably a little bit of jealousy.
I could see that.
Of Ian. And I love Ian. Still like think he's a...
Jealousy on his part or your part?
My part.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, he was like the new guy kind of taking some of the attention away from, but like you were also floating between who was the new person. Yeah, for the record, I have similarities to you, and like I get very hot on people, and it's like all in, let's go, growth season.
Yeah, I still do, yeah.
Yeah, and what I've had to learn, especially over the past several years, like the real, like the juicy stuff comes after things get boring, and like this new excitement would come out of, wow, what is this relationship? And that was something that everybody loves, the act of falling in love, like that first 3 months of dating. And I think you remember talking about that once on something, right?
Yeah, that's the best.
But it's like, if you really want this thing to go the distance, you have to learn how to like the boring part. And that was something that I went on that journey with. And I wish I had had more maturity to do that with you, because that would have been much better. I mean, I fully believed like we could take over the world with this thing. I would have put our staff up against any box in the world at the time.
Yeah, I posted that picture. Did you see that picture?
Yeah,
I mean,
cool.
James did it, but
it was really cool.
I remember that we were at like one of the sushi buffets.
Yeah.
One of the hundreds of times we went. No, and I love it that you say that too, because it's like even in marriage, right? Like with Roz, I've been married 9 years, and it's like it's not all sunshine and rainbows, but you have to really enjoy like unraveling. Like it's like an onion, right? Like, oh, I just peeled off a new layer, or beat a new boss in a video game, right? Of like that's
It's even better than this. I have a friend I've been coaching for many years now, and the other 2 weeks ago, he's like, it's actually like growth is more like Swiss cheese. Like as you go down a layer, like the hole is in a different place.
Oh, I like that.
And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. And once you start to accept that, and because we're always trying to get to the end, as opposed to like, can't I just enjoy? Yeah, we're having a fight right now, but how do I love Jay through this fight? How do I not only love him through it? How do I love him because of it? Because the reality is, it's actually not you I'm angry at. It's something about myself that's showing up in you.
Yeah.
And that's been, this whole Naked Sunday and love and all that.
But before we go on, tell me about Naked Sunday, so everybody
has context. Credit to you, like you were part of the reason I had the courage to start the podcast, because we started those first, 10 episodes we did together, and then best.
But you already had Naked Sunday. It was kind of like your.
It was my thing.
Yeah,
I'd already been doing it.
It literally comes from being naked with Lexi.
Well, it started with just me. If we want the story, like I'll give you the story. Like I came back from my honeymoon and went to France. This is 6 years ago, and I was 40 pounds overweight. I'm burned out on Purebred. I'm like,
Purebred was the new name of the box.
Purebred Athletics was my new box, and like I look back, I'm like,
I saw
you
that
sound like
picture of
you.
I mean, I didn't know you. I mean, I knew you. I didn't
It was bad.
see you at that time. I was like, I mean, you got for those watching, like, you would like eat garbage and have a six pack.
I also trained 4 hours a day.
You
so
trained
like,
a ton. Like you were very. Remember the time we went and competed against each other?
Yeah.
For like, and I had a streak though.
yeah,
I had.
yeah.
So I want to get back, but you would have a meltdown. There was a moment in every
God.
workout where Caleb would melt down.
I had to learn that.
Yeah, it was
that
like
was fun.
it was just mind. Like you were like, if a workout got long enough, I would eventually take over, and then you would self combust.
Yes, I mean this is. I mean,
But you were like 22 at the time.
but that's very, kind of symbolic of the same problem. Like, I wanted to go hard and fast, like the quick stuff, fun, and then the second you have to like pace and just like find rhythm and like be essentially in like a weird flow state and like deal with your suck for a longer period of time. I want to know part of that. And I'm like, blah.
Yeah.
So I had to learn that, obviously, in a more existential sense.
All right,
But
so you came back from France, 40 pounds
40 pounds
overweight.
overweight. I had two business partners at the time because we had like a interesting clinic situation too. We had a chiro clinic, massage, all that stuff. They had just blown through a bunch of money after we had done some vets program. I think like 10, 15 grand was like spent over that. I'm like, all right, cool, that's gone. I thought that was going to be great. I was just like, I'm tired of solving this physical transformation problem. Like, I know how to do it. This is boring too. At the same time, I felt very distant from my wife. Like,
Just freshly married.
freshly married, and it was more like, I don't feel like I can get out of this rat race that I'm in. And how am I going to give her the life that she deserves? Not only that, like, I'm also not, like, I want to be a dad. And I knew that always. Like, I'm not, this is not it. Like, I can't live, like, this is not a life I could bring other life into. And I've also felt called for something deeper. Like, this, the work I do now, which is this, we'll call it leadership, spiritual, whatever you want to call it. Like, I needed to go there. And I look back at that and I echo a lot of those moments. Like, oh, I was starting to feel like about clients. I was starting to feel this way about certain staff. It was just like, it was all falling away. And that whole process, yes, literally getting naked every Sunday. My wife suggested it. She's like, Christina Aguilera does this thing. They get naked on Sunday. I'm like, newly married man. Like, you want to hang naked with me? This is a win. But I did it because she didn't join probably the first 2-3 weeks.
But when you say naked, like you would like wake up and be naked, like
I just got
for the
up,
day.
and that was it.
I feel like I do this naked every day.
Yeah, but I couldn't do anything other than like sit with myself.
Oh, because you can't like leave the house.
I didn't engage in like media, nothing. I just like sat with
But naked is key.
Sure. Now I don't spend it physically naked. It's more like here, but like it was the act of like
it's analogous of like I'm exposing myself.
I have to be honest with myself. I hadn't been honest in a very long time. I just was chasing the next, like, oh, we need to run this launch or this compound. Like, it was just chasing more so that, I look back, I'm just really trying to prove Jay wrong. I was right. And that was the whole premise. While yes, I did some.
There's some value in being
spiteful. Yeah, sure. Like, cool. I built something cool. I never felt successful. I've always felt behind. There was never enough. I say that to say, I didn't realize I was operating from a place of scarcity. Sure, I was also coming off of like some financial strife to open the thing, but underneath that it was like anger, resentment, not this pure thing that when I was like in my best, it was really supposed to be this place for people to come and heal. And I also had lost sight of the vision. I didn't know where I was going with this. Ian was getting tapped out from it too. You could hear it. And then, that whole process led me into some interesting places where I started to unravel, why am I so angry? And you were one of those people. And I don't think I ever told you this, but like I practiced forgiving you for a year leading up to that. Like
leading
by
up
myself,
to when you like tagged me
reached out to you. It was like I had to investigate what was my role in all this. Like, sure, Jay did a thing, but I've been doing leadership stuff for long enough now. Like, and I've had coaches, I've had all these other things. Like, you're just being an asshole, Caleb. Like, take some responsibility for yourself. You played a role in this. What is it? And also, like, how do you be grateful for this? And in many ways, it took me back then also, so for anybody who's listening or paying attention to this part, like I grew up in a cult too. And like,
there's no amount of paying attention.
They'll bring you back in. Like, I did grow up in a cult.
The Moonies.
I left that.
Right, the Moonies was
The Moonies, yeah. I had left that when
Your
I was
parents
young.
were married, I want to say, in Madison Square Garden with like
Yep.
thousands of other people.
Yeah, and they had an arranged marriage too.
And they're still together.
And they're still together.
And some of the
Happily.
two of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Yeah,
Your mom, what's her name again?
Catherine.
So funny.
Yeah,
She's the best. Yeah.
there she's.
I've not seen her
awesome.
for a long time, but from what I remember.
My mom is wild.
Yeah.
Ironically, the parallels of our journey together and my church experience were very similar. And looking at them like, oh, well, the only common denominator between the two of those is me. Interesting. Okay.
So reflective.
How do I not do this again? And I mean, the irony of like, purebred, it did go another path of the same thing, and I didn't realize I had some way become what I always despised. I didn't want to be a cult leader. It was about, well, I know better. I didn't trust myself enough to let anybody else take the reins. And perhaps that was what you were struggling with. Like, okay, Caleb might know some things, we'll call it better. He might be better at this thing, and that's okay, let him run with it. I didn't have that trust in myself to like lead my staff in that way. I thought I did, but it was always, when I looked at it, I was like, I always set up the relationship in a way like, I could pull the rug out anytime I want. I'll show you. As opposed to like, if I'm really secure in myself, no, you're the expert. You teach me how to do this thing, whatever it is.
I was a terrible leader. Like, you're essentially evolving into who I was at the time. Like, your leader. Sure. Like, you rise to that level, right?
Yeah.
And then you bust through that on your own, which is impressive. Like, we both got through it differently.
Yeah, and it's like classic, you built on the shoulder of giants, that kind of concept. I think about that with like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and everybody's trying to cancel everything that ever happened before. It's like, well, you only know what you know now because the people before you laid the foundation, they took it as far as they knew with the tools they had, and you have to mature that way. And it's hard. Like, that's why entrepreneurship, I would put second to parenthood, if you allow it to be, is like the best personal development tool. If you want to be a better business owner, you need to become a better person. You need to look at everything in your life to then truly be successful, and so you can show up consistently and sustainably. Like that's probably the biggest problem. Like we had a 4 or 5 year run. Most people are like, wow, that's amazing. It's like, there's businesses, great, you made it 5 years, but how do you make it 30 years?
Yeah.
How do you make a marriage work 30 years, 40, 50 years?
Well, I don't think either of us were looking that far ahead either.
Well, how do you? The only thing you really have at that period of life that was longer was like college, where you made some, like, in 4 years, I'm going to do this. And it's like, cool. So you can maybe only think 3, 4, 5 years
That's what they say
ahead.
about, right? Like, it's high school, 4 years, college, 4 years.
Yeah.
And also at the time in CrossFit, there wasn't any precedent for
Zero
an
precedent.
affiliate. Like, we were the
Biggest, probably, right?
biggest and longest running.
Right.
Right? Like, there's like 1 or 2 that have been around a year longer than us.
Right.
So it's like, now you open a box in 2025 and you're like, I mean, Albany CrossFit will be 18 years.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's possible.
Yeah.
Where now, like, again, I was just like, I hope to, and I would think that was part of the stress where you're like, people are leaving, like, this is going to crumble.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know any better on how to set myself up. It was one of those things where I think you hear, like, everyone's cheering for you when you're starting, but no one wants to cheer for you. It's like, as we were winning, it was like, that's when people were angry. I vividly remember, you remember Fuji?
Yeah.
Like a very distinct memory when we increased our rates. He's like, you want everybody to leave? Like, that's what he said. And I was like, that's what it felt like. Everyone was mad. And I'm like, part of the challenge was like, we had 6 full-timers. I was trying to pay myself. Like, rent was going up.
Yeah.
Things were getting more expensive. And it's like, no one is seeing, everyone's just like doing math.
Yeah.
You know, the gym math. CrossFitters, I've purchased hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment in my life. I've been doing CrossFit since 2007. I've owned 4 affiliates. I currently own an affiliate in my basement. And let me tell you this, Rep Fitness is by far my favorite equipment. First of all, it's amazing quality. The price is right. And what I love is I talk to somebody that I know, that knows me, and that understands my needs. Now, cool thing is, as a family member of Best Hour, you can save big over at Rep Fitness. Go to repfitness.com/best hour and save on your next equipment purchase.
If you're enjoying this content, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, if you're interested in what we do in Affiliate University, there's going to be a link somewhere around this video. Book a call. We'd love to talk to you about how we can help you build a better box.
But that's the problem. Like, that's where I when I ultimately come back to it, it's like, objectively you lost sight of the vision because you get clouded by reasonable things. Like, this is all logical, like, yeah, money and pay, and like, and it's a lot of pressure, especially if you, like, you did care about us. Like, you built personal relationships with everybody on the staff. That's undeniable. That's hard. It's hard when you like bring personal and professional together, but nobody else gets to see all the information, which is very difficult to navigate that kind of situation. And it's hard when you're like, it's the difference between like, I'm selling this thing versus selling vision.
Yeah,
right?
commodity.
Right. Like Glassman says, like, pursue, what was it? Purpose, not
or
money or something.
yeah.
Excellence, not that. It's the same concept, right? It's no different. And if we just stayed focused on that,
You're right.
we would have taken it. But again, like, hindsight, how do you know? Like, you don't know. And it's, here you are now. How many more people still have jobs today and can still stay engaged and still have some passion for CrossFit because you failed? And you can say, like, guys, I fucked up on this one. Like, I promise you, don't do this.
Look,
Like,
James is still there.
he's still there. I know.
14 years. I mean, he
I know,
put
I
that
just messaged
picture
him
up.
the other day. I know, it's crazy.
That's crazy. I
Yeah.
mean, remember when he showed up? Or Murph is still there too.
Yeah.
Murph's had a baby.
It's crazy.
So I was in Colorado. I remember I was at the apartment. It must have been 20, either very late 19 or early 20. And
when we started talking?
well, yeah, but I was going to say, I remember getting tagged by you, and you had read a passage that I had read about a lump in the throat. I forget what book that's from. Do you remember?
Problem or Inconvenience.
That's the name of the
Passage.
Problem or Inconvenience, and here we are.
Here
I
we
learned
are.
it from Sasha. You know, essentially, you know, the premise is cancer is a problem. You know, a lump in your throat is an inconvenience, and I think about that. I mean, all the time. But you tagged me in it, and I was like, whoa. Why did Caleb just? I remember I was like, what? Why did he accidentally tag me?
Yeah, it wasn't an accident.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I should also say this. Like, my dad almost died maybe a year before that, or 2 years before that. He had throat cancer.
Oh, so that was-
irony.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that till right now. And obviously, death and the prospect of death, and especially like a father, is like, oh, you start to question some things about life. What am I staying angry at? What actually matters here? I'd gotten some therapy. I'd hired a coach. I had some other things go on there too. And I still remember Ian told me this. He's like, dude, I'm not worried about you when you're angry or you're in spite. Like, sure, you can do a lot. What I'm worried about is like when things are okay. And he was right, because
Yeah,
I
I'm the
lost,
same.
like, I'm good now.
Let's mess it up.
Let's go mess it up. It's
Yeah.
classic self-sabotage stuff. It's classic upper limit problems. And you find a way to just nuke yourself because you don't believe you're allowed to be happy. And you find a way to just get back to the same thing because I know how to solve that problem. And I did that. And
You like to solve problems,
I do.
right? So
Because
it's
I
like
want to be
you-
right,
yeah,
right?
but
Like
you
that
create
kind of,
your own almost when you're not solving somebody else's.
which is the other problem, right? Like, so
Yeah.
then, like, where's my value lie in all this? Oh, it's in solving problems. Is it? Or is it, can I just be there? Like, that's a whole nother conversation, which is probably some of the biggest struggle in my life ever. But I remember him saying that, and that work really led to that. And part of that whole process of just, how do I that's probably the best lesson that you inadvertently taught me, is like, I had to sift through the rage, the anger, the hate, the shame, the guilt, everything that came with it, and like come back to like, actually the real problem here is like, I just miss my friend. I miss the selling of fucking membership, butt naked in a hot tub. I miss
I mean, we
cleaning up your vomit in your garage because you got too loaded.
Was the member of the month dinner?
Something, whatever. I just shared that last night. It was like, I miss like these silly things where it's like, we weren't so serious, but you know, in the same breath, it's like, you also took a shot on me. Like, I didn't know where the hell I was going in my life. Like, figure it out. And like here, and I haven't shared this with you, but like CrossFit was the first place where I felt, I'll tap into like Maslow's here, is like, I felt like I belonged. And I have status here. Like, I'm good at a thing. and I can get attention for a thing where I felt very lonely in my life and my identity was so wrapped up in it. I was like, cool, like he gave me that opportunity. And he didn't, I mean, your leadership style was like, go figure it out. It was like,
Still very much is.
it's sure, but for somebody like me who does not, like I rebel against structure, obviously growing up in a cult, like that was like, oh, I can just kind of do whatever I want. And
But for the record, my leadership style was go figure it out, but do it my way.
But do it my way, like afterwards. You know, but even to, I still remember my first class. You remember my first class? It was Fight Gone Bad. So the answer is
I
no.
remember Austin's first class, you and I watching him teach Fran and being like, what is he doing? But anyway, that was a different story.
Mine was Fight Gone Bad.
Yeah.
I'm like 40 minutes into the class and the warm-up hasn't finished. You walk in because, you know, you were on a different timeline. And like, you
Showed up
walk
at
in,
3:30.
somehow like you got the whole, and I'm like disoriented. I'm like, what's happening here? You
blacked
know?
out.
And I was like, I completely shit the bed on this. And, you know, you tidied up and you didn't give me a hard time about it. And like, you still let me get back out there. So like, I appreciated that. And granted, I was an unpaid intern. So like, what are you going to do? Like, homeboy's giving me free work. He's calling clients up and selling people for like, it's making me money. Like on the most part, it's like, fine. But like, you know, those are opportunities. Like I look at that. And again, when I came down to, after all what I thought were the real feelings, like the real feeling was like, oh, I'm just sad. And what if I just come back to that? And is this really a problem? And if I want to be forgiven for the bad things I've done in my life, I'm sure as hell better learn how to forgive this person who I do love and I appreciate and did give me a lot of opportunity and did help me through some interesting times in my life. How do I do that? And I kind of like the cherry on the top was I watched some show, it might have been like Queer Eye or something like that. And like there was this story of this guy who just got out of prison. He had killed some kid and he met with the father and he's there to apologize and the dad just forgives him. I go, this is, it like blew my mind.
I didn't kill your children. Like
he forgave him.
Yeah.
And he like gave him a hug and it was just like this, and as a father now, I'm like, I hope I would have that strength. I have a friend in prison for killing a guy and like, that's been an interesting journey of forgiveness. By the way, if anybody wants to know, it's the same problem everywhere, whether you got a lot of money or you're in prison, like same problem always. That's a whole another ball of wax. But that like, if this guy could forgive somebody for what is arguably the most atrocious thing could be done, can I not do this? And that like kind of cemented it for me because I was thinking about doing that video for a while. I was like, grow a pair, Caleb. Like, if you don't have the courage to do this, like, you don't deserve to lead people anyway. So that was some of the final tipping point for that.
I don't know about you, but as a father now, I'll be watching something. I'm like, Roz will look over. She's like, "Are you crying?"
All the time.
No, no. Like watching Ted Lasso. I'm like,
all the time.
Oh, and it'll be like nothing I should be crying about.
That's exactly what you should be crying about.
Yeah, well, Ted Lasso is a good example, but I'll be watching something else. I'm like in tears. And I was actually on the way here last night watching this Billy Joel documentary, and his first producer, like, terrible contract, and he was saying, this guy Artie, he's like, but I had a terrible contract, but he's the only person that believed in me. So how mad can I be? Like, if not for him, and I also think there's that like you connect all these dots going backwards, but when you reached out, it's like, you're married, I'm married, neither one of us had kids yet, but it was like, oh, like, without this, we wouldn't be here. Like, without you and our falling out, I don't know that I would have sold Albany, like, CrossFit, which means, you know, I might not have met Roz and all these other, you know, things, and certainly not have had the kids. So, yeah, from there, we just got chatting. It was, I remember, like, we chatted, it was like, no time had passed.
Yeah. And we were talking a little bit before, Nathan and I, about it, and it was, well, because you had the book that was coming out, or it had come out, I think it was. No, it was, no, you were doing the audio something or other. I can't remember. So then you reached out to me, because we didn't talk after that first thing. You posted something maybe a month later, and I was just telling him I had just done an ayahuasca retreat, and leading up to that, the shaman, whatever you want to call him, said, like, the second you commit to doing this, the medicine starts working before you even go to the thing. And I was like, all right, cool. And sure enough, like, you posted something on social media, you were having like a down something or other, and I was like, that's interesting. Jay doesn't really post this kind of stuff. For what it's worth, I'm gonna go send him a message. And it was that, it was obvious you were still skeptical, as you should have been. And then it led to, hey, by the way, I wrote this book, you're in it, and then I wanna do this next thing. And I think that was the first time we actually sat and talked. It was with James, essentially mediating the three of us.
Probably. And then, you know, I don't know have you seen the second edition? I sent it to you.
You sent me
like,
the blurb or whatever
full,
about
like,
me
yeah.
or something. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, like the, because in the first book, I don't think I had written that we had spoken, and then we did the audio. We did a podcast for every chapter. All right, let's keep it light.
Let's keep it light.
That was good. I mean, it was a lot of, I think, growth lessons for leaders, like similar to the discussion with Sasha, like embrace conflict, and communication is key.
And forgive, man. Like, like, weird things happen after you forgive.
Yeah.
Like, it's like
almost always good.
Yeah, I call it like spiritual weight loss. Like, you don't even realize you're carrying
right.
that 800-pound gorilla on your back, and it opened something else in me that just, like, you know, not that much longer. The pandemic happened, and I'm like, okay, how do I navigate this? And sometimes those weekly calls with you were just, it was almost like my own therapy. Granted, I was holding space for you mostly during that time because you're getting ready to have a kid. I think you were selling your portion of the other business. Like, but for me to feel like I was in service, dare I say, kind of doing the stuff of where I wanted to go, but I didn't have an idea of what that was going to look like, kept me grounded too. So it was beautiful.
What are some of your most fond memories of Albany CrossFit?
My most fond memories. Probably just like those noon workouts when we had like the crew. And it was early on, that was fun.
Javi.
Javi,
Or
sure.
I think he's a police officer.
He is.
now.
I ran into him randomly at
Did he pull you over?
No, no, he was at Chipotle, and I was walking in, and he's like, "Hey, yeah."
Well, I mean, that'd be one of my memories. Like, I mean, we would wrap up the 6 and go to the Chipotle. I drove past it.
Well, that was the other stuff. Like, yeah, going to dinner. It was.
We went to dinner like 5 nights. We went to Beth's. We get like buffalo pizza.
That was great. I loved that. Yeah, it was mostly like, it was the hang. It was mostly the hang. It was the quiet times. Like, okay, we're gonna really talk about some stuff. That was. Like, I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed the leadership stuff. I still, to this day, I was just talking about last night because I do a Wednesday boys' night. And
Yeah, see that you do. That's cool.
it's awesome. Highly recommend that.
Every
for everybody.
Wednesday?
Every Wednesday, like clockwork. It's the best.
What do you guys do?
We do all you can eat sushi. up in-
Every Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then
best.
Pirates Cove. Do you still get an ice cream?
I haven't been as much. I haven't of late, but no, we do the all you can eat sushi, and we do like a weekly question every week. That's like a deeper introspective thing.
Well,
We
that's
go around
cool.
the table. It's very cool. But it was always the hang. I was sharing this, like, I remember the first time you came back from some Sasha thing. It was either Witty Whiffy or start with what's your why. I can't, and you were so jazzed, and you could, like, the words like blurted out of your face at me. I'm like, give me a second to catch up with you. What are you talking about?
I remember.
But I was hyped, and I liked that. And then I remember we started doing like a weekly leadership kind of. I still have the book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. That was the last thing you ever gave me. I remember that. And
I give you a recent copy.
you gave me a recent book of like Daily Dad or whatever it is.
Oh, I did send you Daily Dad, yeah.
See, I remember these things.
Yeah,
man.
that's a good one.
But it was that, like, I wanted, like, exercise was cool, fitness was fun, like, great, but like it was this deeper introspective time. And it was I feel like I belong thing. Like, I'm part of the secret club, because I never felt that way in my life. I was always like straddling worlds, and it was cool. I mean, it felt nice to have, it seemed like favoritism, like, cool, I'm this guy's right-hand man. I get to do this thing that I love. I see all these people changing. It's awesome. We're doing something. Like, I always knew it was going to boom. I always did. I still remember talking to you about like the Olympic lifting shoes or whatever it was. Like, this is going to change. Like, CrossFit's bringing this industry to life, and you're like, that's not going to happen. Like, I promise you. And it did. Like, I was like, yes, it's going to come online with these things. And I just knew.
You were young enough to be like optimistic about it, and also understand it better. Where I was just like so narrow in like CrossFit and Dogmatic.
Yeah.
And then going back to what we said earlier, like you were smart enough to be like, let's not unnecessarily tear the members' Achilles. Like,
Sure.
but like little things like that.
But those were the things. It was really like the human connection that I had personally never been, I wouldn't say never was afforded, but like it felt like the first time where I could kind of be part of the in crowd and help shape this thing in a way that, yeah, we were young and brash and we definitely ran things more like a frat. Started to mature a little bit over time, but like that was interesting to me to feel like I could be part of that stuff.
Yeah, remember at one point we had like an HR?
Did we?
Yeah, we had like
We
a
had, like-
woman came in, she like made binders.
Oh yeah, it was like part of the, like a paychecks or something like that.
Yeah, it
They
was
do,
like,
one of those?
I
Yeah.
was like, I probably need to do that. But I
Talk
was
about things I
trying.
never want to do, right?
Yeah, no, as you were saying that, it kind of reminded me of like Michael Scott and Dwight,
Right.
where it was like, you're my best friend when I want you to be, but you're also assistant to the
Yeah.
regional manager or whatever, right? Like that's what it was like Michael Scott, like
Yeah.
because our girl Katie, she's like, oh, you were Michael Scott. I was like, yeah, actually, that's a perfect example of like I just wanted everybody to like me, have fun, and I was pretty good at my job when it came down to it.
Yeah.
But you bring up that I vividly remember coming in, and I'm far better about this now, like with Roz, because like I'll have a meeting and I'll be like, Roz, like she's my right? Where I go upstairs and she's in the kitchen and I'm like, oh, I'm doing the thing where I just like I'm so excited. But that was like I felt like, as you were saying, that if we could have just made it a year, like it would have been like, oh, Jay's.
You know the weirdest part about this though? We were set to have our biggest month. Like we were about to like really go at Clifton Park right when it happened. So when you say, yeah, if we just made it a year, it's like, no, if we made it like another 2 months, it would have snowballed into the year.
Just would have wore a tie.
I just would have time, right?
You remember that? Like we would have.
Yeah, that was
I
part
remember
of
it was
my
like-
frustrations around the money stuff, but like, yeah.
No, it was
without going down.
frustrating for both of us, right? It was like, because like from my perspective, Clifton Park was costing me a lot of money.
Sure.
But I do remember it was like getting there. Like you were doing a great job. Like you mentioned the Clouds. I remember like a bunch of
we were about to have a huge month.
new members, and we had spent a lot of money. The place was like flooding all the time.
We had one flood. And during the
Pi. Was it Pi? Was that his name?
Master Pay, yeah.
Master Pay.
I won't even go there.
Yeah. But I remember it was just, but again, a little bit of clarity on that stuff would have gone a long way.
I only bring up the money thing there because I can't stress enough for people that are listening. People think money is going to solve your problem. It's not. If anything, sometimes it makes it worse because it just glosses over the thing underneath it. And like Albany was booming. Who's going to tell me I'm doing things wrong? Like that it's weird where you can get caught in your own ego and it snowballs if you don't want to address some of those deeper things. And it's not a matter of if, it's when those things are going to come out. And because you're going to have a slow season, you're going to have some interesting things, and it's tough, and especially the more relationships you have to navigate with staff or whatnot. It is classic upper limit problems. So it's like, it's my plea to anybody, like, go deeper before you decide to go do anything crazy. It's really important. Like that, if we had just really stopped worrying about everybody else trying to open a box or this and that, and like it just sat like, yo, where are we going?
Focus on you, what you can control.
Focus on what you can control. Go back to why do we care about this? Like, why are we friends? Like, go down to the root of like, who the hell are we? Who knows what we'd have done? But I mean, again, hindsight 2020, who knows? But
how has this helped you as a dad? You're home all day with a soon to be 1 year old.
Yeah. How has it helped me? Because of especially that year, this has been probably the most trying year for me since then.
Since Lexi became the principal, and
since we had a kid, because I stepped into being the primary caretaker because Lexi, she has to be at work, and I had I designed my life to be flexible to like do this. So, and I wanted to be present, and I have swallowed a massive dose of humble pie and like, oh, I think I got this figured out. And then like parenthood sharpened that lens for me real quick. Yeah. I remember a friend of mine, she was a client too, and She's like, you could just see the way she would respond to how I thought I had it figured out with like scheduling and this and that. And she was like, And, you know, she's been a great friend through it too. And I look back, I'm like, yeah, I needed to get my reality checked. And the hard part has been like that year of like me sitting in, I don't know what's going to happen here. Mostly dealing with myself, my fear. Where do I want to go with my life? I hadn't figured out a lot of that stuff at all. This one, now, instead of having the stress of like money, gym flooding, fallout with a business partner, navigating new relationships, worrying of who else is trying to take advantage of me, not sleeping, all the other things. How do you find love in that spot? That's helped me now. It's like, if I could find that love then, there's a lot more love now. Like, your wife is successful, you have this thing going, you have friends, you have so much support. Great, you got your kids screaming in your damn face all day long. This is a you problem. It's not a her problem. This is her one tool, and it's really challenged me to like face myself in the mirror and not try to externalize my problems. That's probably the greatest gift of all of that, is that I think it really has helped me be prepared to don't get me wrong, I have certainly reacted poorly and all that. My wife has
all parents.
All parents have.
Yeah.
And my wife has certainly kept me in check.
Did I grab Madison by the face the other day and shake her?
I don't know. No. But the ability to sit in a very uncomfortable space for a prolonged period of time, do my best not to point the finger of blame and do everything I can to point it back at me and be like, what are you running from? And what about you? And, you know, no different. At that time in my life, I defined by myself as I am a CrossFitter. I am a box owner. Before I met my wife, like, I date this pretty girl, whatever. Like, I defined myself by my relationships, all external labels. And probably for the past however many years, a lot of my worth was attached to what can I do or provide or solve for other people. And here I am now, I have this new role. Who am I now? And to detach myself from external labels and to be like, my role is to be her dad, but my value is me. Ooh, is that enough? And that's been very difficult. And I don't think if I had gone through, obviously, both of the church upbringing stuff and being told the world I'm supposed to be there, and then thinking I need to choose some new whatever to like fit my new mold, and now how do I dissolve all those labels and just be with my kid so that she doesn't get me barfing all the generational traumas down onto her. That was really challenging. But if it took me going through all this pain so that she benefits from that, I'd do it all again in a heartbeat.
The best thing I did was prepare you to handle a 1-year-old.
By being a 1-year-old?
Acting like a 1-year-old.
Echo those thoughts there.
Nate's having the best time. He's just hearing all the
dirt.
Yeah, it's like you said.
Come Monday.
Jay's anonymous. Sasha, you, Jess will be next.
All the clips. Whenever he just needs to drop them, he's going to send them your way. Like, remember this one? Remember this one? He's going to send you that in your inbox.
But it's true. I think like we, whether it's coaching or parenthood, it's like all leadership. Like you said earlier, entrepreneurship, parenthood. I feel like it's leadership, right?
It's all the same thing.
Yeah, and it's just how you lead
yourself.
Yeah, even better. I was saying like a 1-year-old is no different than this, because it all starts with, when I'm getting stressed out about Madison, I'm like, oh, it's me. Like, what am I stressed about? What am I thinking about trying to do, rather than just being like, this kid's screaming. What do I need to do? Like, handle it. Yeah. And I know whenever I do that, she calms down. That's crazy.
The world's your mirror, man.
Yeah.
That's really hard.
Yeah.
It's really
like
hard.
You're screaming, I'm stressed. It's always like, I'm trying to eat dinner, I'm trying to do this. It's like, or just, if I just go up to her, she's like, okay, I'm good.
That's probably been one of the hardest things to recognize, that it's never really an outside problem. Yeah. There's the Hermetic quote the principle, I should say, that's one of my favorites. It's like, as above, so below, so within, so without, so the universe, so the soul. And it's essentially saying, like, the world's just a projection of what you think of yourself. The relationship you have to the world is the relationship you have to yourself. Yeah. So if you don't like what's happening outside of you, you don't like some part of yourself, and it's up to you to go address that. And if you don't, guess what? You're going to just set up new relationships and new things. You're going to change. You're going to classic midlife crisis stuff. You're going to try to buy a new car. You're going to get a new house. You're going to break up, get the hot new girlfriend, like whatever the thing is, and then all the problems are going to come right back because you started with the same premise. Yeah, you didn't solve the root problem.
Yeah, it was always like with our values, why I always put health as my number one, because I'm like, if I don't take care of me, it's like an oxygen mask, right? Like nothing else matters.
Sure.
Right? You have to, like I said earlier, like I flipped it, like family then health, because I'm like, these are like, I was thinking this morning, like, I'm traveling, I'm trying to eat well, I'm like looking at my body, I'm like, when I die, no one's gonna remember what I look like, but they'll remember you screamed at me because you wanted to go work out or do whatever, right? Like it's a kids will mess with you. But when we at that last fight, if you would have been like, they're both married with the children, I'd be like, no, not those two idiots. We've come a long way. This has been so much fun. What else? Anything else?
Well, even just the values thing right there, you're talking about ironically, the values is one of the first things I even talk about with people. And
it has to be, right?
Like, it has to be. But even our value stuff, I was grateful for it because it exposed me to it, but I realized like that approach was still not complete for me. And I had to like reframe it in my own way. And I've looked at things like health, relationships, family, like those are not values, those are priorities. And that like my values are how I show up. So who you are is how you are. So I do something I call the anti-value method. It's like, what do you hate? And then you'll think of 17 things that you hate off the rip right now. It's really easy to look out there and be like, I hate that thing, I hate that thing, I hate that thing, especially if you turn on politics. Like, everybody's gonna hate everything. And then you go, what's the exact opposite of that? Like, find the underlying theme in all of that. What's the underlying theme? And then the exact opposite of that is your actual core values. So for me, give you an example, is like, we'll keep it like light. Like, I hate when people don't say please and thank you or hold the door or things like that. Bad manners. To me, all the signs of disrespect. So my value is respect. But then here's the key. I have to go look at my life. Where am I not respecting my health? Where am I not showing respect in my relationships? Where am I not embodying respect in my business, whether it's to my clients, to my time, to whatever? And that to me became more like, oh, the priorities are always the priorities. How do I organize them in my life? But I'm always going to show up as me in all of them. So I'm no longer a label. My identity is my values. And that change for me has been profound because it's never about anybody else. It's always about me taking accountability for it.
What did you call that? Inverted values?
I call it the anti-value method.
Anti-value what?
Method.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people too, actually Fern and I just recorded a podcast. It's Charlie Munger, who's like how would you set up a gym to fail?
Yeah.
And we like listened, Nate was there obviously, like all these things. It's like, cool, so don't do that.
Yeah.
But I think for a lot of people, they don't know what their values are. Yeah, I was just thinking, I'm like, I hate when people walk on a plane and grab every chair. And like it's like shaking, like. So, but really, what I'm saying is, I value health because those are always people that are like struggling to walk, like they're not like struggling, but
if
like
you dial it under that though, is it health or is it self-respect?
Right. That's a good one.
But that's where I'm going with this.
Yeah, that's good.
Take this a little step further.
Yeah.
The biggest lie we've ever told as humanity is that we are separate.
Yeah.
And once you do this value method, I have yet to find anybody. So the secondary one, I hate when people are negative. I can't stand it. If you're going to be a negative Nancy, be pessimistic about everything, get out. So why are you here?
Let me do you. So you would say I'm positive.
Positive. Optimistic was the word I landed on for me. So how am I being optimistic about my health? How am I being optimistic in my relationships? How am I being optimistic in my... If I'm not, that's where I need to go focus my attention. I built out an acronym eventually, and acronyms are great because...
For your values?
Yeah.
What's yours?
Royal. So
Respectful, optimistic, what's the Y?
This one's it had to be worked a little bit. Yearn to grow. So
okay, no, I get it.
Mindset.
Yep, A.
Actionable. So you have to take action, you have to make it pop.
And loyal.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that's where... The fun part about that, I have yet to find...
That's cool. I'm going to try to do that with my,
The fun part about it, I will be surprised if you end up with drastically different values than I do.
No, me and you?
Anybody. I have yet to find somebody who doesn't in some way, shape, or form...
Right. Respect yourself.
But also how do you
be
respect
positive.
others?
try to grow.
Take action.
Take action for those. Yeah, I mean loyalty, depending on, but like that's family, like friendship, whatever that means for
Are
you,
you
right?
loyal to yourself?
Yeah, and for me, it's
loyal
like
to
again,
purpose.
like I think of loyalty for Roz, right? Like Sasha and I were talking. It's like we're a team,
Yeah.
and like they're, back in the day, you and I know it's like you cough the wrong way, we're breaking up. Like we both,
I wasn't gonna bring that up, but sure.
you know the deal, and now it's like, oh, like you're playing poorly for the last 6 months, right? Like I'm still here, like I'm carrying you, but like Sasha said, like it's not 100% each, it's 100% total, and that's been for me. Like, I mean, this is the longest relationship I've ever been in, and it's been marriage. But
Proud of you.
thank you.
I'll give you a pat on the back.
But it's that. It's like, I think about that, like Fern kind of said it for our team, where it's like, I just don't want there to be slack. He equates us to like dog, like the Iditarod, like the dogs. Like, I just don't want to look back and see slack. So it's like, if you're trying your hardest, which our significant others always are, like you assume the positive, it's like, I'm cool. Like, I'll carry this portion of the game.
It's also the reason why purpose is such an important thing to define. Like, are we going the same direction? That's hard. That's very hard. But the values make way to purpose. Purpose is an emergent property.
I like that. What I find challenging is there are times where like I feel like I'm carrying the load, and I'm sure she does as well, or you do, or Lexi does, and
Yeah.
But I'm like, but the downfall to that is I spend more time with the kids, right? Like I'm saying, point being, it's like, so even if I'm carrying more, all that means is I get to hang out with the kids more. So is that a bad thing? Right. So that's how I reframe it. I'm like, cool, because like my parents,
Didn't.
I shouldn't say my parents, my father, right? Like, because he was working and they were divorced. Like, my kids are gonna be like, Dad was around too much. Like, Dad took me to all these activities, and like, and by the way, Roz does as well. But like, there are just periods where you feel like that. I'm like, cool. Like, I have to get up early and get the kids dressed and hang out and watch Peppa Pig. Like, that's cool. It's fun.
Tough, like first world problems, right?
Yeah, right. So it's just a reframing. I like it.
Yeah.
The anti-value method.
Yeah.
Where they can learn about that on Naked Sunday?
Sure, I think I did it on one of them.
Are you doing the podcast still
I
consistently?
just picked it back up a few months. I lost sight of what Naked Sunday was all about. So literally last week was the first time I posted one in
I saw you had James on again, didn't you, recently? Or was
Not
that just an
recently.
old one that he reposted?
old one he probably reposted or something like
But
that.
you said you had Brian Costello on?
Yeah, he just came on.
Check him out. And it's just all the platforms, obviously.
YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. I'm tightening where I'm spreading my
If you're
information.
listening on somewhere else, you're
Yeah,
just
it's
being weird.
Lame.
Yeah, no, Brian Costello, across Long Island. I'm gonna reach out to him to check out his book, like you
It's
mentioned.
phenomenal.
And you doing coaching? Can people still sign up?
Yeah. If you want to coach or want to talk with me, I do two. Before I even coach anybody, I do 2 coaching sessions as a gift. I believe in like understanding you before I don't even know if I can solve your problem. I'd be of use. So like, let me get to know you first.
I think you can solve most problems.
Listen, I have a healthy ego, but
don't-
please don't boost that shit too
But
much.
they can find that on Naked Sunday.
Just follow me. Probably the best place to find me
I
is
am Caleb Nelson.
on Instagram is the best place to find me. Just send me a DM and I'll come chat with
Why'd
you.
you change Leb in real life? Why'd you change that?
Part of a whole rebranding thing, and there's something about like I've struggled with defining who the hell I am for my entire life.
So you are Caleb Nelson.
I am Caleb Nelson.
I like that, but I also like your acronym. Love everybody.
Thank you.
How you signed many things.
Yeah.
But this has been great. Of course, we need to just
I gotta have
continue
you back on the podcast too.
I'll come back
That'd be good.
on. We just need to chat more. Just for no other reason than we both have kids and life. But it's always. I'd never leave a conversation feeling worse. I can tell you that. Like I always leave feeling positive.
Yeah.
We like you said earlier. Like we spent so much time together. It was such a good part of our lives. It's you can't let a few mishaps ruin that.
Yeah, especially like there was fire there for a reason. Like
Yeah.
if you can keep that going, like what can it be?
I'll make a crazy analogy
Please do.
just to wrap this up. But I just listened to a book called John and Paul.
Oh.
It's about the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, we're kind of like that. They were like best friends, but it was like, when you think back about it, it was like 7 years. and like obviously we haven't quite done as much as the Beatles, but you know, it was like
Don't count us out yet.
but you know, it was like this like it was like a love story through songs. Like they were like in love with each other.
Yeah.
We might have been. But the point is, like, it wasn't like they were in love like that, but they were like, it was a true like love.
Yeah.
And it was interesting listening to that, knowing we were going to chat, hearing some of the things we said. It was just
Yeah.
a love story.
I'll say this, like, I'm grateful for you, man, and I love you, and I really appreciate, like, that we're this place in our lives. And, you know, I've been thinking about, like, where's the rest of my life going? And I think a lot about the average of the 5 kind of thing. And I've been thinking about, like, I love that you brought that up. Like, we probably need to get on a more regular basis of, like, connecting. Like, that's important to me. Like, what else are the relationships? What else is your life than the relationships you connect with at the end of your life? And that's what I want to make sure that I'm focusing my time on.
Well, I think we were ahead of the curve when it came to like men being emotional, right? Like we would talk deep stuff all the time, regularly, and yeah, I think more men need that too. Like I love that Wednesday dinner that you're doing, plus a question. I have other buddies like Andrew Charlesworth who does stuff like that, and I think it's cool to even cooler to do in person like that.
Oh, it's my favorite day of the week.
We won't tell.
My favorite day is I spend every day. I'm in deepest love with my wife, and I
shout
love
out to
my kid
Lexi.
to bits. But my boys' night, it kind of grounds me back into like being it definitely makes me a better husband.
Well,
my
it's one
wife
of those-
kicks me out of the house, like,
Yeah.
get out of here.
Well, it's like Ross should be like, you haven't gone to jiu-jitsu. Like, you're getting cranky. And I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm glad we need that man time.
Yeah.
Well, this has been great.
Thanks, man.
Thank
Love
you. Thank you. Naked Sunday. Check it out.